Hello everybody, it's Zeidoktor here, and this episode of Typical Manga Review is dedicated to My Hero Academia, Chapter 139, The Underground Labyrinth. We pick up pretty much right where we left off, with the Yakuza and the police and the minor heroes, with Yuruka's group just kind of fighting outside. Fat Gum and his team, everyone else charges in, like, sorry, we're not taking over soon, we're in a hurry here. Like, Fat Gum, the epitome of good manners. Like, something about this whole situation is kind of like getting their guard up, but they've got no choice but to just keep going anyway. There's warning that there might have been a leak, but everybody seemed trustworthy, and one cop mentioned that if there had been a leak, they'd been a lot more prepared than they were. Nejire-Chan explains that the Yakuza, like, acting with a very strong sense of loyalty, like they exchange cups and pledge loyalty to the bosses. Even with their fall from grace, these things have always emphasized loyalty above all else. Which means that the flunkies are buying time for the leaders to get out of there and run, which pisses off Kirishima, or Red Riot rather, because leaving the rough stuff to your followers while making a getaway ain't manly at all. No doubt, Fat Gum agrees. Short Night Eye stops the group at an innocuous-looking wall with some decoration, but is actually a hidden panel with a way further down. Of course, as soon as the door opens, bad guys come out. Centipeter has two centipede arms that grab two of them, while Bubble Girl throws some bubbles in front of one and then shoves his face into them. Like, this basically means he gets like soap bubbles right in his eyes, or whatever they're made of. The two of them will stay back, but make sure those three don't follow, but everybody else goes ahead. They hit a dead end where there shouldn't be one, based on what they knew, but I realize that's probably over Chisaki's recreation ability. Lemillion decides to go in and take a look. Fortunately, we don't have to worry about any buck-naked Lemillion because his costume is made from his own hair. Like, fibers have his own hair woven into them. And she looks around. Like, the wall's the only thing in our way. It's a thick one, though. Fortunately, Red Riot and Deku have a plan for that. Smash it! They keep going. They start to proceed again, but the hallway begins twisting, turning, and moving every which way. Sort of like the Forest Temple in Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, if you remember that particular dungeon at all. And the cop with him realizes this is like the HQ director Irinaka, but it's well beyond what his actual ability is supposed to be, which makes Fat Gum wonder if he's given himself a boost. Basically, the guy's power is mimicry. He can go into any inanimate object, and control it from the inside. And we see like one of the little doll figures from Overhaul's group before. It's kind of lying there with what looks like a little cylinder next to him. So Fat Gum seems to be right on the right track. Because right now he controls the concrete of the basement facility and it's turned it into a labyrinth. Like, and the Razorhead can't do anything about it unless he gets inside the actual body. Sun Eater starts freaking out. He's like, how can we even think about saving the girl when we're totally doomed? But Lemillion kind of gets on skate like, this is Nagi, you're Sun Eater. Plus we can make it through this. These two things all don't matter as long as I know the way to my target. I can make it. And he rushes ahead of everybody. See you guys on the other side. He basically rushes through there, and Irinaka's like, walked right through me. Not much I can do against that. But even if Punk makes it all the way through, he can't put up much of a fight on his own. Then he undoes the floor and drops everybody one floor below. Everybody else one floor below. And from there we see three more members of these bullets kind of pop in. The Scarecrow guy, guy with Sanji hair and a nice tie, and guy wearing a sick mask. Fat Gum's ready for a fight, but Sanji decides that you pros and your power are essential to the mission. As for these guys trying to slow us down, I can deal with them myself. And we also get a little flashback of Lemillion. I'm like, you got all backwards. The reason I work so hard is because I've got you by my side, buddy. And the way he's dressed, it looks like this is actually back in middle school. And that's where the chapter ends. Like I said, they kind of went quick for a couple of reasons. One of which being some technical difficulties, so this is kind of a take two. And also because it's an action chapter. They go by fast. So just kind of scrolling back here, going to go over some of the art a little bit. Once again, let's get loading, everything loading. Art-wise, probably the nicest parts here are Centipeder, like just like lifting guys up with a centipede arms. Like, the bubble girl actually like shoving a guy, taking a guy's eyes out with their bubbles. It's like if anybody reads JoJo's Bizarre Adventure probably makes you think of the soft and wet stand, because that's literally the first thing we see it do. I do like the nice touch of Mirio's costume being partly made of his own hair, so he can move along with him. That explains why I had to take off his visor. Nice little bit of art here is like Deku and Red Riot just smashing through the wall. The sight of the twisted turny hallway is pretty good too. I was like the contrast between how Sun Eater finishes the chapter declaring he'll fight these guys himself and how he was freaking out just a little earlier. The way things are moving, I'm not making any predictions right now about who's going to show up or when. I do wonder if the Villain Alliance or League of Villains will actually show up, because like I said, there's been too much talk of them maybe being there for them not to be. Yeah, not a lot of major discussion going on this chapter to really get into. I think a lot of it's been dominated by recent anime episodes, which I think are on Todoroki versus Deku. I think for now I'm going to go ahead and call the review at this point. Like I said, it's not a lot for me to really get into here that I can think of. I'm just rehashing some points from before. So I'm going to call the review here. Like I said, we'll see more about what happens here next week. Until then, see you later and bye-bye.